In more developed countries or first world countries, we have a problem with waste. We hear about it a lot in the media and news, but also college campuses and their cafeterias have signs talking about food waste. A big chunk of waste we don't think about is clothing. A whole new wardrobe can be bought at a store, and then once it's worn, discarded to deteriorate in dump grounds. That's a lot of clothes just sitting in a dump ground for every American. A solution for this is buying clothes secondhand instead of new. Buying clothes secondhand is better for the environment, your wallet, and employees who work to produce these clothes. According to an article on Medium.com, the total amount of clothing bought in 2012 in the UK was 200,000 tons. Just 4 years later, in 2016, it was up to 1,130,000 tons. That's a lot of clothes. These clothes also take water and energy along with the cotton or whatever the other material for the fabric used to produce them, harvested from agriculture. It takes all those to manufacture these clothes, and it produces greenhouse gas emissions. In 2016, the clothes made were responsible for 26.2 million tons of greenhouse gas emissions themselves. Can I say global warming? The clothes take from the earth to be made, but once they're used, they go back to the earth to impact it further. Extending the average life of your clothes by 3 months can reduce your carbon, water, and waste footprints by 5 to 10%. Stores like Goodwill and Salvation Army sell clothes secondhand for a fraction of the price you can buy them for new. You can buy a shirt for max of $5 or a pair of pants for a max of $10, compared to buying a pair of pants new at Walmart for about $20 or more. They also feature deals like yellow tag specials where you can buy a shirt for 20% off or $25 or buy one get one. These are not the only stores. There are stores that are cheaper and stores that sell more designer clothes that are secondhand for more expensive, but also for cheaper than you can buy them for at the designer store. You can also buy at those stores clothing from previous lines the designer companies had, so you can get cool clothes that you missed out on before but you cannot buy new now. You can also buy clothes at yard sales. Depending on the people selling them, they can be a few bucks for a bundle of shirts. In my World Human Geography class, we talked about Jamaica and watched a movie over it. Well, we talked a lot about how there was this company in Jamaica exploiting poor women because they didn't have much ability to make money, so they hired a lot of these women to make clothes for them, but they gave these women very little money in return for making them work a hard, long amount of hours to make their clothes. And these women also wound up having to take the clothes home to make them at home when they were not working. A lot of companies, sadly, work this way to produce the amount of clothes they need. It is about mass producing their clothes and making as much clothes as they can in a short amount of time. Buying your clothes secondhand can decrease the demand on these workers so that they don't have to make as much, but it also can be used as a way to boycott against these companies treating their workers like they do, the long hours, the short amount of money, and the poor working conditions. There is a counter argument to this. Some people may say that buying their shoes and their socks and their undergarments secondhand is not something they want to do. It's unhygienic, or they don't last as long, or they're stretched out, or they're sweaty, or they're gross. Fair point. But the thing is, buying the rest of your clothes secondhand makes up for buying the few things like underwear and socks and shoes new. It not only makes up for it with the environment, but also your wallet. Saving as much money as you can on your jeans or your shirts or all of the rest can give you more money to buy a better, nicer pair of shoes new. Maybe even finding a company that works to make these products in a way that's more better for the environment. Instead of buying all your clothes secondhand, you can look into stuff like that. You don't have to just buy secondhand. You can look into companies that make their clothes using recycled goods or sustainable farming. There are other alternatives if you're not comfortable with some of the ways to save the environment by not buying a bunch of new clothes. There are also shops online for secondhand buying, but not just secondhand. Stores like Etsy feature people making the clothes themselves, so you can buy them made in a sustainable way by a seller who talks about their practices to better the environment instead of secondhand. So all in all, buying the clothes secondhand benefits not just the environment and employees of these companies, but it benefits you possibly just as much, if not more.